What's up, world? Thanks for tuning in to Dane's Desk. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about how business owners can never worry about what to say when they're guest podcasting again. So let's get right to it right now. Problem, as always. What I've began to notice is just generally when it comes to marketing, is a lot of business owners struggle with getting themselves out there and getting in front of more customers simply on the fact that they have a problem or they worry and overthink what they have to say when they're on these stages or on a podcast or making a commercial or shooting an ad that they want to put up on social media. It really doesn't matter necessarily what the channel or the actual marketing tool is. They struggle with what to say. And I get it. I used to struggle with it as well. I totally understand how your mind goes into like a blank slate, and because again you've in your mind, you've been programmed to think branding, marketing, commercials, there are these magnanimous things, and you got to have all this super duper equipment and all these high paid writers, copywriters, etc. But the reality is, when it comes to just delivering your brand message, it just boils down to you understanding a few simple components, a few simple elements, a couple elements that we will cover today. And so you don't have to worry about what to say. You don't have to overthink it. You don't have to concern yourself in a sense. When you, like I said, specifically when we're going on podcasts, keep it simple, keep it authentic, and just keep it real. Like that's really the best way of going about it. But within the framework I'll be sharing with you in a little bit. So don't let this stop you from getting your business out there. Don't let being afraid or being worried or overthinking or just feeling, over anxious about what to say when you're going on these podcasts keep you from going on these podcasts. In this day and age, solely relying on word of mouth and referrals to scale your business is not going to work as efficiently as it and as effectively as it once was. So in this day and age, you got to get more strategic, you got to get more creative, and you got to just pay attention to where the attention is at. And in this day and age, the attention is on the devices, as they would say. So your smartphone, your tablet, your laptops. Think about it. How often, people really don't even have cable subscriptions anymore, because whether they look at media on their device or they look at it on their flat screen at home, again, the flat screen is just tapped into more of the apps, the streaming apps. And so if you aren't on these platforms, if your business, if your face, if your brand, if your message, if you're not on these platforms, then to the average consumer, quote unquote, the average consumer being, in these digital streets in online marketing and on the internet, you're basically invisible, and that's where the attention is at. So you just have to understand, if you truly want to scale, if you truly want to get out there, if you truly want to get in front of more customers, then you're going to have to be more strategic. You're going to have to be more creative. And one marketing strategy, digital marketing strategy specifically, that you can use is podcasting. You can leverage podcasting to get your brand, get your business, get your message, get your face out there, get in front of more customers at all times, even while you sleep. Because again, while you're sleeping, your clips, your videos, they're online 24/7, 365. So think of it as a online sales rep. Every video, every clip, everything you post, all the content you can get your hands on that has you in it, your brand, your business, your message, your face, ideally, you know, all those components. That's just another sales rep out here in these digital streets campaigning for customers to come do business with you. So would you rather be invisible, or would you rather just put the effort in to earn more brand exposure and recognition simply by leveraging podcasts? And how do you leverage podcasts? By being a guest. So going back to our usual vegan business restaurant, if you're a vegan business and you have a cafe, you do meal prep, you do supplements, you do have juices, cold pressed juices, whatever your offerings are, when you when it comes to guest podcasting, you know, you got to first start off with, well, where would your ideal customers be hanging out at? What podcast would they be listening to? And For a vegan business, that's pretty simple. You can start at fitness podcast. So once you identify fitness podcast, the next step would be figuring out, I would say, get it like a top 10 list. Find, the top 10 fitness podcasts that you want to be on, whether they're big or small, and go on those platforms. Make a real effort to earn your way onto those platforms. And once you earn your way on those platforms, think about it. You'll have 10 interviews, you have 10 videos in a sense. Now you're gonna step number 3, you're gonna repurpose all those. And by repurposing, I mean you're gonna take all those, you know, turn them into segments that are, like you said, minutes long, and then you go to turn them into clips that are 60 seconds or less. Ideally, sometimes it might be, 90 seconds, or it might be a little bit more, but ideally, 60 seconds or less. And then once you have these clips, then those are going to be the clips you put on social media. So on your Instagram, your Facebook, your X, your TikTok, or any other social media platform that you use, or that your ideal customers are hanging out on. And that's the content that you want to put out there about your business, promoting your business, campaigning for you at all times. And that's how you create the content that you need in order to get your face out there, so that you can get your business out there, so that you can get your brand out there, so that you can ultimately get in front of more customers. That's how you leverage podcasting to make that happen for yourself. So now that you know that, solutions, specifically when it comes to what to say, don't overthink it. It's real simple. Stick to the basics, and think about it from a commercial perspective. When you're looking at regular traditional TV, they show you the same commercials all the time. This means that they're sharing the same message all the time. They're getting their brand, their message, their offers, their call to actions in front of their customers at all times, using the same script. They're not changing the script every time they release a commercial. So you just take a page out of their book and do the same thing with guest podcasting. Now, because the people who are interviewing you will be interviewing you in their way, that will add the uniqueness to the podcast. But as far as just your specific aim and goal and objective there, your aim, your focus, your goal is to make sure that you are saying the same message, saying the same, making the same offer, and giving the same call to action, so that when people see it, whether it be on a clip, whether it be on a segment, or whether it be on the full, video, they hear what you have, and they're compelled to go do business with you, compelled to take action by following your call to action, ideally to go place an order online. All right. So now that we got the problems squared away, solution, we want to craft, message matters. That's the solution here. Understand, if you're worrying about what to say, then understand that your concerns are valid, because message does matter. However, how do we go about making that message matter? And we make that message matter by crafting a compelling brand message, crafting a compelling offers, and crafting a compelling call to action, and then saying those 3 things every time we get on a podcast. So every time you go guesting, you engage in some form of guest podcasting, whether you're going on the show. And think of it too, like, even if you're going on the stage, you want to make sure you have your a message, the same core message that you give to audiences, so that, again, you're compelling them to take action, and specifically the action, ideally, to go place an order online at your website. All right. So I understand it can be challenging to know what to say, like I said from the beginning. And again, I've given you the framework in a sense. You gotta, when you get asked those questions, like what do you offer, or where can people go find out about you, or how can people do business with you, or where can people go buy your product, like, those are introductions for you to talk about your brand message, again, your core offers, as well as your call to action, getting people to do business with you. That's your opportunity to say those types of things. So again, you don't say, you in a sense, you want to say a version of those things every time you get asked those questions. But for sure, at the end, you definitely want to end off on a positive note by sharing those specific 3 things. And as long as you do that and you consistently are going on podcasts, because again, you don't want to stop at 10, but I just said your goal, the first goal here is you want to get to 10. Um, the goal though is ultimately using podcasting as not just as a vehicle for content creation, but also too as a long-term marketing asset, because again, think of every video, every clip as a soldier in your marketing army, pushing your message. And the more clips you get out there, then the more notoriety, credibility, and popularity that you gain, and celebrity in some cases that you gain, the more those clips are gonna the more people are gonna find out about those clips. So then at some point you're just going to get a tidal wave of traffic back to your older clips. And again, because you strategically laid out your message up front, when they watch those clips, they're going to start hearing the same message, and then that's going to be their cue to go do business with you. And then you're going to just start to see the traffic go, to your website, ideally to go and place an order. And that's how it goes. All right. But again, in order to make all that happen, you need to be guest podcasting. So don't let worrying about what to say, don't let overthinking about what to say stop you from getting on these podcasts. And whether they're big or small too. And that's really another important point I want to point out to you guys. Don't overlook the smaller platforms. Don't think that just because their last interview had 8 views, 25 views, 100 views, and they didn't have, 100,000, 50,000 views, that, oh, it's not worth it. No, you got to, again, look at the big picture. Every podcast that you get an opportunity to be on, as long as it's within your niche that you're trying to serve, then that's an opportunity for you to get in front of a new customer. So even if it is just 8 people, that's still 8 new customers. Even if it is 25, that's still 25 new customers. Even if it is just 100, it's still 100 potential new customers that you got your product in front of. So that's how you organically begin to gain exposure. And that's also what will make the bigger platforms start to notice you as well and want to have you on their platform, because again, when you are reaching out to these bigger platforms, understand that you aren't the only one. So there's other people, reaching out. So now you're going to have a compelling reason for them to choose you as opposed to someone else. But if they're seeing that, you are going on podcasts, and they're going to be looking at your podcast, oh yeah, like that's the person that I want to have on my show, as opposed to the person that's just hitting them up and wanting to get on their podcast and not necessarily having any evidence or any reps in the game. You feel me? They ain't putting no shots up. All right, so just look at the smaller podcasts not only as an opportunity to create more content at the end of the day, but also too, because again, you never know where those podcasts are gonna go, are gonna end up. So again, yeah, when you was on that podcast, they were only getting 8 views an episode, but a couple of months down the line, a couple years down the line, now they're a major platform, and now they getting now they got 1 million subscribers, and now all those older videos went from having 8 views to now thousands of views. You feel me? But again, because you strategically laid out your message, you knew what you was doing. You came at this from a strategic perspective. Again, when they're re-listening to your message, it's, oh yeah, I want to do business with this person. And then as long as you keep your website up and going, they'll be able to go to your website, place an order, which is the ultimate goal. That's how you go increase sales and revenue, so that you can grow your business and scale your business the way you want to. All right. So as a resource, I have created a course. It's called Storytelling for Business Owners, and it is designed to help you get the knowledge and tools you need to make your guest podcasting interviews more compelling and more memorable, so that when people watch them, like I just said, your message sticks, is compelling, it resonates, and it makes them want to do business with you. And all they gotta do is just go to your website to place an order. So you don't have to worry about it. It will be available as of this recording. Just getting the last pieces of editing done. So stay tapped in. I'll be talking about it, but also too, we'll go back and put the link in. So if you're watching this in the future, then the link is going to be in the description. But go ahead and get that course. That's going to help you, figure out what to say. Specifically for what you have to offer for your brand, your business, your products. And then again, when you go out there, just stick to the same script. Keep it simple. So if you have three basic, so again, the vegan restaurant, they have 4 basic core offers. They have the cafe where you can get the meals hot and ready or to go. Then they have meal prep, which was nationwide shipping. Then they had the juice. cold pressed juices, which allowed them to you can come in grab and go as well as nationwide shipping. And then they had their herbal supplements, which are grab and go or nationwide shipping. So again, that's how they have productized offers. Because everything that they offer, it can be purchased online and shipped nationwide. And so if that's the type of business that you have, where you have those capabilities, or that's how the space you need to be moving towards, then again, like you're all you have to do is just start going on podcasts and leveraging those platforms to create the content and also to create the long-term marketing asset that you will need in order to get in front of more customers so you can increase sales and profits and grow the business the way you want to. All right. So again, it's going to be storytelling for business owners. It's just going to walk you through, all the steps you need to take to, get your message right, get it crisp, get it compelling, get it memorable, get it on point, get it real sticky, so that when people hear it, it just compels them to want to take action. I'm gonna help you get your basic frameworks. You know what I'm saying? You're going real simple stuff. So it'll be available to you soon. All right. So last but not least, action. Like, where do we go from here? What are our next steps? Real quick, three things. One, get the course. Two, start getting on podcasts as a guest. Like, don't overlook this opportunity you have at your disposal. Identify podcasts within your niche, or that identify podcasts that your niche would listen to, and go get on those podcasts, whether they're big or small. Because again, they're long-term marketing assets as well as an opportunity for you to create content, especially if you don't have your own podcast, which is last step number three, action step number three. Um, Bonus step: start your own podcast. Don't overthink this. Don't start your own show. Just start making content. You'll be amazed by the amount of exposure you can get in front of just simply by reimagining how you use your smartphone. So again, all these apps are free. So it's get away from just using these apps to aimlessly scroll and waste your time just looking at funny clips or interesting clips, quote unquote, and just start. So go from being a consumer of clips to now a producer of clips, and be prolific. So go out here and ideally, again, as always, shoot to be on a podcast a week. But again, first major milestone is getting on your first 10, but shoot for once a week. And again, don't just once you get done with these podcasts, don't just think your job is done. That's when the real work begins in regards to repurposing the content. So again, action steps: get the course, start getting your message crisp. You already had the basic components. At the end of the day, you need to have a brand message. You need to know, have your core offers, get clear on what those are going to be, and then what that call to action is going to be. Ideally, just go place an order at my website, xyzsite.com. And again, start getting guest appearances on your calendar. You feel me? Like, that's what we want. I want you to start doing. And then last but not least, again, bonus: start your own podcast. No need to overthink this stuff. So again, even when it comes to what to say on your podcast, I've said it before. Keep it simple, basic frameworks. And in this case, problem, solution, action. Just like this show here, problem, solution, action. There are problems that your niche is dealing with. There, you have a solution for that problem, and then you just tell them how to take action to go take advantage of that solution. So the problem might change, and ideally it most likely will, but the solution more often than not is going to be the same, and then the action steps are going to be the same. You just got to put the phone up, press record, and then post it. You feel me? So again, be prolific. That's where we'll end right now. So thanks for tuning into this episode of Dane's Desk. Make sure you like, follow, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, and to tell a neighbor about us. And again, let me know if you need any help. Leave comments in the leave your questions in the comments below, or feel free to DM me. If you're really ready to rock and roll, let's go ahead and set up a strategy call. So go to all the profiles, click on the link, fill out the form. Once I receive the form, we'll get a call scheduled. All right, it's been a pleasure. As always, make it a great day. Peace.